Good evening. My name is Gavin Publicola Dougal, and this is the Arizona Publicola broadcast, where I report to you about the news that's going on in Arizona. It is 1:16 in the morning. I have a whopping 12 subscribers, I believe. Let me go check. And I do not plan on anyone actually watching this. However, from what I've noticed on a few things, and we'll go over that interestingly enough, a few people do actually watch my stuff. It's kind of wild. Um, Not getting a ton of traction, which is totally fine. Um, but yeah, yeah, I have a let's share here. We're going to talk about Arizona politics. I have a candidate I want to talk about tonight. I have not looked into their profile. I just caught them on TikTok. Said, "Hey, that looks a little interesting," and then want to dive in a little bit further. Discuss just first impression vibes on it, and kind of go from there. So let's walk through this process. Let's see how a tired dad at 1:20 in the morning, who has a load of laundry for going for the next 20 minutes, how do they actually look at politics and stuff? So, all right. So, quick personal bit about myself in the event I happen to get some random viewer that joins into my live, in which case, hello, I'd love to talk to you. I should probably tell people that I am going live. Maybe that would help. Let's make a post. Let's say, oh, and post this. Cool. I've gone post that here, and now my whopping 12 subscribers and my 7 videos can see me. See, here's the great thing about being such a small start, right? Is that I can make all of the mistakes and no one's going to know because no one watches my shit. Well, I mean, look, you got 26 videos, and this is an 18-minute long video. That's a slop of a mess. Here's 10 views on this 12-minute long video. Here's 148 views on this one. This one is actually a banger. You should watch that video. Um, my more successful one's 804 views on this one here. I really like this one. I'm red in this video because I am really mad and my car is turned off. And it is like 90 degrees out, which is not too bad. But then I was also in direct sunlight. And so it was getting really hot. I didn't even realize, man, I look gross. Oh, all right. Well, this is me. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Hey, look, that's me right there. I gotta get better at thumbnails. I gotta get some pay for the Google Canva or some shit. Anyway, tonight we're gonna talk about Miranda Lopez for Arizona State House District LD21. Let's see if she has one. Quick. No, she doesn't. Ooh, okay. I already have some feedback. Let me go. Oh my goodness, what have I done? No, that's not what I want. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. This is a new keyboard. Um, my wife just gave me. Oh, by gave me meaning it's her old one from work, and it's like one of the mechanical ones, so it's a little different for me. What I'm going to do. Let me share my stream. Actually, what am I doing? About down here. know what? Let me take a second here, if you don't mind. I mean, if you do mind, say something in chat. Um, Let me take a few seconds here, and then go. I'm gonna pop over here. I'm gonna. Oh goodness me. I'm gross. I need a shower, man. Running around taking care of kids, you put yourself last a lot of times. All right. All right. Need to get a better mic. That's what I need. Okay. So we are going to actually do a video. All right. That's what we wanted. We want to put this here. Say public cola. No super PAC donations. Boom. Sure. We'll put those two policies together. Right then. We are going to write out a publical standard as we are. All right. Hi. We're going to write together a public standard for what it means to be a uh, candidate that meets the public standard of running for office. So, for context, originally when I created this channel, I was going to be running for office and I was going to upload my own personal political content on here. However, I pretty much realized that in my current living situation, I'm going to be likely moving to another district, in which case trying to do that mid-race kind of throws in up in the air all of the signatures you just gathered. It makes the money tracking complicated, and not to mention your wife would probably help prefer if you actually focus on your immediate needs rather than trying to run for an office that you're not sure if you're going to be able to actually do. So, completely valid things, and I fully support that. So, what did I do instead? I shifted my focus instead of running for office to finding those who are running for office and then to try to spotlight them, talk about policies, talk about issues in Arizona, and still get those root cause issues. Because here's the thing, I'm a bit of a policy wonk. I'm slowly starting to share some of my videos, trying to create my videos. I have a whole fat ass stack of essays and policies and ideas, but now I need to take those essays, this manifesto, so to speak, and turn it into digestible content and understandable things, and actually start practicing having those conversations with people online, with people in real life. This way, when it actually comes time to being able to present this information to someone who might take this idea and run with it, it can be clear cut and not me stumbling over my words. So that's the plan here. Anyway, tonight we are going to look over our digital guest, Miranda Lopez, for Arizona State House LD21. This is a first impressions of this candidate. She popped up on my TikTok earlier, and I felt like, hey, let's go ahead and look her over. So, she is in LD21, which for context here, that is Arizona LD21. Let me get a map, an accurate map. There we go. It is a weird area. I have no idea how I campaign for this, so good luck. Good luck, Miss Lopez. It's down this district. This is LD21. This is the border district right here. It's a lot of the legal main entry points. There is some beautiful towns and areas here. I'm gonna see if I can pull up her TikTok. Go tickety talk, tickety talk. Let's go. That's fine. Oh. Oh, she was right there. Oh, I told you it's good. All right. So we are going to pull her up. We have her website. We have her TikTok. And I think that's all I need. She has a good few videos that kind of introduces her. One of the things I would recommend her doing is more a little bit about my life. But she has this here. We'll go and start. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, she is. Yeah, she's running for District 21. She is down in southern Arizona, that is Tucson area. If you are in her district, I recommend definitely checking her out so far. Well, hold on, maybe we pause on endorsements. Sorry, I'm so eager to say. Definitely look at her website as we watch this here. See if this is someone that interests you. So let's go rip off the top of her bio here because if it wasn't for this bio, I wouldn't know like how old she was or that she was a political organizer. This is Miranda Lopez. She says she's 30 years old, a political organizer in Tucson, running as a Democrat for Arizona State House in District 21, and says to follow her campaign at this over here. She seems to be somewhat giving some posts on TikTok here. I have to check if she has an Instagram. I did not look at that. Uh, Let's go. Actually, what? Let's see. Yeah, she has an Instagram from here. This would be perfect. And she has a Facebook. All right. Yeah. So she has 4 posts, 91 followers. I will follow you. Here. That's your launch party. Yeah. So she already did a launch party, which is good. That's a good start. This is her talking about. I know in that video, one of her earlier videos, she talked about how she struggled to find a bar, but she made sure she found one in her district to hold this launch party, to get people to come out together. Um, I love the signs and the logo. I think that's great that you already have that. Now this is all cool and all. Okay, so bare bones, it's a thing. She says that she already did the financing and such. So we can check equal, see if she has that. But let's dive in first. We can check the nitty gritty in a minute. Let's look at her website. So Miranda Lopez for Arizona State House, LD21, right? So we want to go on and elect her. She says that she's an active public advocate for progressive and socialist solutions across Arizona for the past 8 years. She prioritizes the issues that matter most to working people of southern Arizona, which is great. Let's see, what is the LD? No, I'll look at that in a minute. um, so why is she running? She says Miranda Lopez is running for Arizona House of Representatives because too many people in southern Arizona are carrying the cost of decisions they didn't make, neglected public education, rising rent, and environmental issues, leaving working families behind. Because here's the thing you got to realize: I'm in Phoenix, and I still face those issues. I'm in North Phoenix, and I still have the same exact issues. Neglected public education. The school my kids go to is one of the few A-rated schools. Probably shouldn't say that. That's going to dox in a sense. But they like part of moving for me is finding a good school. That's partially why we've still stayed within the area. Um, there is rising rent. A lot of the homes that we want to do, we have to pump up more than we're already paying here if we want to live in this area. Half the time when I filter in by homes in this area that I'm at, I don't see anything, but I see a house that says for rent outside, and I call it, and literally one of them was a four-bedroom house that said 3,200 a month. I said, why even bother paying rent at that point? Just fucking buy the goddamn house. 3,200? Are you kidding me? Yeah. So um, rising rent, environmental issues, leaving work family behind. In Arizona, you can really feel that smog, especially in the Phoenix city. Um, but we always face environmental issues. Let's switch back over to her. So her main priority, she says, public education, K-12 and higher education, protecting the environment, and making housing affordable for renters and home buyers. Okay, love that. I have a unique approach to housing crisis, so let's see what they have. Um, so she's approaching the surface issues with surface level promises. Has consistently immersed herself in Southern Arizona community to offer the front lines of these problems. She will work tirelessly to find real solutions. Perfect. Um, Longtime public advocate for progressive and socialist solutions to issues like public education, the environment, and affordable housing, uh, and a dedicated community organizer for the last 8 years. Miranda will work to build solidarity in the legislature's Democratic caucus while prioritizing their interests of Southern Arizona. We're going to throw this in a notepad on the side. We're going to build out for her. I love this. I can't find any of this bit of the info on her TikTok or whatnot. I think she needs a good like intro, bam, bam, like this is who she is. Candidate that might come with time. Investment campaign. I wonder if she's in clean elections campaign. Clean elections question mark. PSA question mark. Is she in the Democratic Socialist America? That's another question. This needs volunteers coming up February. Don't see. Okay, she has a March event. What is this? Sarjito. Come up with seventh or Rio Rico. I'm in Phoenix. I'm way too far out to get there, but I do know some people in the DSA that are there. So I wonder if she's going to be looking for endorsement. During her mailing list. You know what? I'll put my name. Uh, if she contacts me, I'm going to say that I want to set up an interview with her. I think it's worth interviewing candidates. Mind you, I didn't even pick her prior to. I didn't research her or anything. She just came in my feed tonight. I said, you know what? I've been telling myself I need to do this for a while, so I said, sure, let's go for it. All right. So I can't sign the petition. I don't live in her district. If you do that. Let's see here. Meet Miranda Lopez. Uh, let's see. Running for state house. Grew up in Phoenix after graduating from the UA, which my wife went to UA, so she loved it as well. Fell in love with Southern Arizona, and now I help to raise a family in Tucson. Okay, so here she does say, I'm a democratic socialist and will promote progressive policies in the state house to protect the right and dignities of Southern Arizona while working people and their families. So that's actually really cool. I haven't been to one of my DSA multi meetings recently, so I wonder if she is talked about there. I gotta roll in some questions in the group chat later. Let's see here. So she went to U.S. Graduated from U of A in 2018. Began her career working grassroots organizing with a statewide Democratic coordinated campaign, where she served as both a field organizer and a late regional organizing director. 2021, she was a director for the Pinal County Democratic Party, where she focused on building local party and data infrastructure, supporting candidates, and strengthening community engagement across southern Arizona. She has started working for the ASU Association in 2023, advocated for college students at the state legislature, developed student leaders at the University of Arizona, mobilized young people to take action against harmful legislation. During the time, she decided to return to school, and along the way, joined United Campus Workers and was elected as their treasurer. After working a full-time job, being a full-time student, graduated with her master's in public administration in May 2025. So she understands how to organize shit and make it nice and pretty. Awesome. Banger. Um, and she says, I believe real change happens when communities are organized, informed, and empowered, and that I approach the petition. That's the she says that's the approach I bring to everything I do, which she has a donate and a sign petition at the bottom. That's very good. You should do that. There's lots of photos of her and with other people, which means she's not just a complete random weirdo online. I myself have that issue where I did not have enough photos and whatnot during my initial campaign drafting, and some good political activism. It just looks like that she's someone who actually knows a thing or two, which is good. Makes her trustworthy. Um, let's see here. So these are a little bit about her balance movement right down here. All right, so she says public education. Arizona public education has been undervalued and underfunded for decades. Public schools districts that have been forced to close thanks to their unlimited spending of ESA vouchers, and Arizona public university students receive the least amount of funding per student in the county. Our students deserve fully funded public education to instill critical tools and civic values that can use to transform themselves in their communities. Yes, absolutely. It is crucial we do something about these fucking vouchers. Every candidate that I talk to about in Arizona needs to understand key issues, and if they don't mention vouchers, then that is going to be a serious problem. Vouchers are so Arizona state budget is has a $1.5 billion deficit, and 800 million of that, so half of that deficit, is just vouchers. It's just vouchers. That's not talking about ESAs. That's not talking about any of the other financial extortion leaks, such as the lack of public banking or lack of local circular economy or wage gaps or anything else like that. That is just talking about the voucher scams alone. That alone is a serious fucking problem. You might say, oh, well, then we should just invest more in public education. Right, agreed. Private education does invest a lot more into their students, but the thing is, that comes with a price tag. And if you're not able to meet that price tag, then you're not able to give each constituent what they need. And so the vouchers is this false attempt to try to uh, meet that gap, but really all it does is it ends up being just a fucking credit to people who were already going to go to private school anyway. Because when you take on the voucher program, right, your tuition, say like a middle school kid, their tuition could be $9,000 per year. And then the voucher might cover $7,000. Well, what do you do with the other $2,000? That means every year that kid needs to go to middle school. That's another $2,000 loan. Most parents are already paycheck to paycheck. Okay, the parent who's paycheck to paycheck, who is scrounging up things, eating ramen and hot dogs and mac and cheese as two of their meals throughout the 7 days, already understands that that is not a realistic fucking thing. Okay, that $2,000, the only time they're seeing $2,000 is maybe during tax time, assuming that everything has gone well, assuming that they're able to hold a job all year round and everything else like that, is the only time that they might see that. And it is ridiculous to assume that the voucher program is going to be something for everyone when it clearly is not. And it is just another form of extracting wealth from the bottom and lower class of Arizona and sending it over to the upper class, the wealthy elites. But I'm sure Ms. Lopez already knows all about that. Let's dive into her protecting the environment segment. Our desert ecosystem is battling for survival. Many species unique to our riparian areas have already gone extinct. To protect our environment, I will fight against corporate interests that seek to drain and pollute our aquifers. We live on stolen land that has been plundered for resources for centuries. It is time to find sustainable and equitable practices that will preserve our environment for future generations. Okay, great. I wonder if she would be open to talking about a water value tax or about land value tax because uh, or even bare bones the copper extraction fee needing to be increased. These are three different proposals that would help with the immediate resources. I myself am a Georgist, which means I believe in taxing the finite resources that we have at exorbitant costs so that they can be reinvested back into the community, at which point you can take those excess funds and you can invest them into a sovereign wealth trust fund, much like Sweden or Finland do, that allow these very small countries to have a fucking $1 trillion worth in their goddamn investments. Um, but do that, but for Arizona instead. Obviously, we're not going to have $1 trillion overnight, but it's something that we can meet in the next 50 years or so. But the point is, you take what is being already extracted, and then you just charge up at a certain rate that either it's going to give you enough money to replenish those resources, such as the aquifers, or it's going to incentivize better use of it. It's going to incentivize people to actually be a lot more responsible with what they take and not just grab and grab and grab. Because how do you hurt a capitalist most? You punch them in the wallet. You hurt what they do from all their extraction the most. That's really key. All right. So yeah, I'm curious what policies she will talk about. And then she has making housing more affordable. You know what? You can have my cookies. All right. So state law favors landlords over tenants and making it difficult for cities to enforce living conditions like indoor temperature and rent increases. Young people in the workforce, like myself, struggle to find rent cheap enough to save towards buying a house. Arizonans who rent are looking to buy their first house need to support and protect. I butchered that sentence. Arizonans who rent or are looking to buy maybe phrase that differently, buy their first house need support and protection from our state government to ensure a larger, cheaper supply of housing free from corporate interests. Okay. Yeah, a simple program like building housing on state land would be a great use. Of course, that's going to require an Arizona state constitutional amendment to do so, but in the House, she could recommend an HRS, I believe it is, where basically if she gets of the House to agree, and then they would sign the she gets majority in the House. They sign and agree that sets up this amendment proposal that would be sent off to the 2028 ballot. That in 2028 they no longer had to collect the signatures for it. They instead just need the votes for that amendment. At which point that amendment would be, hey, do you want to allow us to be able to, instead of having the state sell off all the land to just to the highest bidder, do you want us to be able to actually use this land for best use as determined based on the people and whatnot? Like, there's a better way that you could fix it. Scooby, I love you, buddy, but I'm still working, buddy. Right. Let's dive into her issues. Um, which isn't too much. That's fine. I'm policy wonk. I go deep dive into things. Oh, there's links. We like links. Arizona public education has been undervalued and underfunded for decades. Public schools district due to ESAs. Okay, and Arizona public universities. Okay, sure. Our students deserve fully funded public education to instill critical tools and civic values they can use to transform themselves and their communities. Okay, great. What are you going to do about it? Like, I love the attitude. It's correct. You address the issue, but what's the proposed solution? I need a follow up. Are you banning vouchers? Are you looking to, um, heavily regulated? Are you looking to um, increase the amount of investing into students? Are you looking to, you know, double down on vouchers? That would be dumb. She's not going to double down on vouchers. The point is like, you know, what's your plan? What's your plan? I mean, she has this here, which this is, let me scroll back to the top, the trends in college pricing and student aid in 2025. It talks about it's a technical breakdown that talks about how everything is going up in price and whatnot. Mind you, though, you can argue that in Arizona college, for the Maricopa County community colleges, most of those classes are only about $100 each course. And by the end of the 2 or 4 year program that you go through community college, most about 80% of graduates graduate with little to no debt, uh, like little being like 1,000 or less. So, I mean, if she doesn't have these arguments prepared, ready to go in, then she's gonna hit some hiccups, right? She got to lock in that knowledgeability. Um, so let's talk about issues. I need proposed solutions and data for site. All right, my washer's done, but we're gonna finish this before I jump over. Protecting the environment. Oh, sorry. Protecting the environment. Our desert ecosystem is battling for survival. Many species unique to our riparian areas have already gone extinct. Okay, we talked about that. She says she's going to fight corporate interests that seek to drain and pollute our aquifers, including data centers and exploitative mining. All right, great. I need to know. Oh, public education. Mm, because here's the thing. You can fix some of the funding issues I talked about before. The method of taxing the finite resources. If you want to, like, for example, data centers, you can pass a data sovereignty act, where basically we would require for our data to be anonymized and digitized, digital data to be anonymized before being collected, and then we can also um, uh, tax a fee based on the data extraction on Arizona digital users. So basically, uh, think of it like think of it like this: those who are wanting to go into marketing, or those who are wanting surveillance, such as Flock or Ring and whatnot, or Palantir, whenever they want to access Arizona data, they'll have to pay a cost. You make it a heavy cost, and now people can't just freely use your data. They have to pay some serious money in order to get that information. And then basically, then you take those fees and whatnot, and you invest it back into Arizona public broadband, and you create a consistent system where everyone, no matter where you live in the state, has access to fiber internet. And it can easily switch carriers between internet service providers, because when the state owns the infrastructure, then we are able to quickly make those changes for people. So, in such, basically, instead of you getting locked down by a monopoly of wherever you live at, we would be able to set up that Cox and CenturyLink. If you don't like what you're going on with Cox, you can just flip to CenturyLink, and literally it's just a switch on their side of things. If you think that's ridiculous, Kansas fucking did it, okay? And if a red ass area like Kansas can do it, Arizona can do it. So I'll have a whole video about that later. Um, That's one of the many essays I have to break down. But if you want to learn more about that, drop it down in the comments below. All right, let's talk about making housing affordable. Oh, sorry, actually, real quick on the environment, but when it comes to protecting the environment, we talked about a copper fee. We talked about pollution. Another easy one is um, so the most frustrating thing with data centers is one, their usage of water, and two, the pollution, and three, the data collection and how it's used, right? So I'd say digital sovereignty. Water, you do a water value tax, and then three um, is the pollution. You can require that they are responsible for their own power. Ironically, Trump actually said that in his State of the Union address. Mind you, he was fucking lying. That's not actually happening. But if they are responsible for their own power and not allowed to connect to the power grid, or in order to do so, then they have to invest X amount into the local power grid towards the power companies. That might be something of a balance. Um, I probably would prefer if they invest in their own since it's a significant project to do so. Um, of course, so then you would need to put in some clean environment regulations, right? Like, if you are a data center in the middle of fucking nowhere in the desert, then fucking invest in goddamn solar. Invest the fuck out of solar. Now, here's the thing, a lot of these people have already bankrupted a lot of solar industries. We need to revitalize the solar industry in Arizona. We can't wait for Congress to go out and do all these things. We need to do these things now in the fucking state legislature. So, if you tell me that you're going to force these data companies to have to respect its people, that are they're going to pay us for these data that they have collected and they are hoarding whatnot, and then that they are going to be responsible for their own water, that for their own power through green electricity, which is going to support Arizona First jobs and solar, and if they are going to then support water extraction, be taxed a water extraction rather than just the water usage. Then that incentivizes them to switch the more expensive version of their chip cooling process instead of this open air, which basically relies on pumping a bunch of cold air in and then letting the air cool down. They can create closed circuit technology, which is already out. It's a thing. It's just more fucking expensive, but it's more. It basically it sends in the cold water into the chips area, and then it traps it in there and it pumps it continuously throughout rather than just a one-time go. Um, and because it traps it in whatnot, it's like more precise. It's a whole thing to like make it uh, more. It's way more environmentally friendly in terms of like how much water usage it does. It's like a 90% reduction. It's still seriously reduced. And for a state that already has so limited amount of water, they need to be pulling that. They need to be pulling gray water cycling. They need to be clearing out their own water and reusing it, not just pulling out fresh water and draining our fucking well waters, so which already lack regulation. And it's something that I would expect to see something of hers. But we're going to shift over to back to her page. Make housing affordable. She says the state law offers landlords and tenants and makes it difficult. We're going to redo that sentence. Make housing affordable. State law favors landlords over tenants and makes it difficult for cities to enforce living conditions like indoor temperature and rent increases. That's absurd that you don't have laws that can support indoor temperature mandates. And rent increases, okay. Young people in the workforce, like myself, struggle to find rent cheap enough to save towards buying a house. Arizonans who rent or are looking to buy their first house need support and protection from our state government to ensure a larger, cheaper supply of housing free from corporate interests. Okay, yeah, because Ricardo's law of rent is that when housing is scarce, uh, whatever wages you invest into them will go straight to the landlord. Right? There's nothing stopping the landlord from just trapping you in your home and just jacking up the price to be whatever the hell they want it to be. So they can kind of extract that wealth from you. even if you say, oh, well, rent's too high, we need to raise the wages. Great, you raise the wages. If you still are stuck with those same choices, the landlord's just going to increase the rate. So even if you got paid $200 more a month, well, now they just going to jack up the rent $200, and now it's their profit gains, not yours. Um, Rent freezes, I'm really hesitant to implement. I'm fine if it's during a temporary transitional period, like if you're planning to build a shit ton of housing, and you need to put it in, but those houses won't be ready for a couple years, and in the meanwhile, I can understand that. Um, the caveat to that being is that when you do freeze the rent, it discourages development and investment into that area. Um, I think the better bet would be to lean on simply increasing the amount of housing and then to put some of the housing into a Arizona Public Land Trust, or community land trust, better yet, to let the cities and the local areas retain this land, essentially decentralizing power, giving it from the state, and then the state can say, "Hey, cities, you have the legal authority, the structure to be able to do these things," and then the cities alone can write those things. And so this way, it's a little bit more of a direct democracy. Um, that's something that I would advocate for. Let me see. Does she have anything else? That's it. Contact page. Yeah, if you have any questions here, go and talk to her. I will fill out something. I just doxed. Oh no, my name is Gavin Dougal. That's not a lie. Um, you know, yeah, you can email her. You can send her. She got a PO box. That's cool. Yeah, it's all very cool stuff. Um, yeah, I think she's pretty cool. I want to learn more about her. I'm a policy wonk. I want to get into the nitty gritty, and learn more. I will follow her here. Yeah, and looks like she hasn't posted much since February. So I'll follow up with her. I'll see what she's got else going on. Overall, yeah, I thought this was kind of interesting thing to do. I felt like, hey, maybe we can take a moment here and chat about Canada and Arizona. I would like to um, cover all kinds of different candidates. This was a test also to see how well I can just live stream something real quick, do a little streaming, kind of talk about this candidate, look them over, talk about what I would do in their instances, my grievances. So let me look over some things. So I talked about wanting to create a public goal standard. One of those things was going to be a no super PAC donations. I don't get the vibe she'd do that, but I also didn't see anything explicitly mentioning her finances, and policies address root cause issues. So, I'm gonna go to the contact here. Let me write out a message. Say, hi, Miranda. You're going to hear that type the whole damn time. I do not have a quiet keyboard. I will. Oh god, yawn. I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. My laundry's been done for 20 minutes. Well, washer. You gotta throw it in the dryer, but I'm throwing it in the dryer and passing out and taking a shower after I drop off my kids in the morning. I am gross, and my it's gonna bug me on my throat. I might jump in the shower before the end of the night. That's not important to you, random viewer. What is important is to know that I'm going to take the stream. I'm going to cut it down into a easy to understand video. Um, yeah, I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. I got a baby and a puppy who are waiting for me. I got a baby who's going to be waking up soon, wiggling, wanting stunkles. Um, so I'm going to go do that. And thank you so much for watching the Public Cola broadcast. Um, yeah, let's see this channel grow. It's only 12 subscribers, 7 videos here. And yeah, even if no one watches this here, It's just simply going to be me posting just for the love of the game. Oh, I can delete that. Did that post automatically? That's interesting. Let me go. This was me testing the stream earlier. How do I? I'll figure it out. That's not important. Thank you so much for watching. Uh, yeah. It's 2 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed. Okay. Night.